I guess you wanted to revise one of your picks.
Oh, yeah, third place. Yeah, I thought about it, and because I had a really hard time choosing my third pick.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I mean, Roger Rabbit is pretty much one of my favorite movies, so, and that's what I could think of. But I was like blanking on one of my all-time favorites, and that's Blade Runner. I don't know why, like, I didn't think of Blade Runner for some reason. But when I was thinking of my favorite directors, that's when I was like, oh, right, Blade Runner. So.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah. Well, it's like I thought after we do the directors, we could do the actors and actresses, or we could combine them both. I don't know. Because it's like.
Yeah,
there
we could do
are
that. And then
performances where it's like like the movies, it's good, but it's like not, maybe doesn't fit a certain criteria.
yeah. We could do genres at some point, too.
Yeah.
Like movies from each genre.
Okay. Do you want to go decades or? I guess what were you thinking?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like action adventure.
I guess we'll figure it out. Are we doing directors today?
That was a plan.
Okay.
Did you want to talk about Blade Runner more?
Not really. I'll probably.
It's good.
Yeah.
I think
I'll probably cover it at some point when we get to sci-fi or whatever.
Okay. It's like, because I like the remake more than the original, but I do like the original. Just the look of it, and the feel of it.
I will say, I think the only reason I like the original better is just because of nostalgia. I think objectively, the sequel is a better movie. It's just a better movie.
Kind of sterile, has a sterile feeling to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just a CGI, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to watch it again. Okay, so you want to go? You picked out directors because I was still. It's like I have 3, and it's been pretty stable for like the last 10 years. Like not a whole lot of. I guess with like even with the new directors, it's like they put out 1 or 2 movies. It's like that's not enough to really go on.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like I feel like what's his name? Denis Villeneuve is kind of like that, where like if he had 20 more years to make movies, then he'd probably be up there for me, but there's just not enough of them.
Same with Panos Cosmatos, or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, I don't know how to say his name.
Like I'm not even sure what it is.
But yeah, I was trying to decide between my second and third. Like, I know who both of them are, but I was like, which one is second and which one is third? Then I thought about it, and yeah, third place for me is probably David Fincher. I mean, you got Fight Club, Seven. There's even the movies of his that I don't like, I at least like to look at. You know, I didn't care for The Game. I thought it was kind of silly, but it looks really fucking good. And I also kind of think, what's the guy that directed The Dark Knight, Inception? What's that guy's name? I'm blanking on it.
Christopher Nolan. I
feel like Christopher Nolan is like the not as good popcorn version of David Fincher. Like, they both have kind of a gloss to their movies, but David Fincher's at least has like a gritty glossiness, if that makes sense. And then Christopher Nolan's just like, you know, just too glossy and everything looks perfect, but he tries to make it look dark and gritty, and it's, I don't know, it doesn't work for me. But yeah, David Fincher. Also, he's produced some great fucking TV.
Westworld? Is there anything else?
Huh?
I think of Westworld, but what else is there?
Well, yeah. Mindhunter, which is about like the FBI profilers back in like the 70s. House of Cards. In fact, I think he might have directed some of House of Cards too. I know he's got at least an episode of what is it? Love, Death, and Robots, I think it's called. Which is a cool show. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out.
I've seen parts of it. I don't know if I've seen the episode he did.
Yeah, I don't remember which episode he did. I think it might have been the one with like a ship, and there's like a giant crab eating people. I think that one's his. I could be wrong. I'd have to double check.
It's been a long time. Yeah, I'm not sure.
And he did I think he did Alien 3, which I think is his least favorite movie that he did, for good reason.
I have no idea.
Yeah, he did do Alien 3. I think it's a good movie, but man, that's some embarrassing CGI.
Movie. I don't know. It's like some of that has a certain charm to it.
It does, yeah. But yeah, I think that's all I got on David Fincher. But yeah, that's my third favorite.
Okay, people are talking, so I'm trying to mute my mic and not pick them up. But my pick for 3 is I think it's Andrei Tarkovsky. He's a Russian director.
Okay.
So his highlights, or maybe the one that's most known in the United States, is Solaris. It was during the 70s, I think.
Yeah, I never saw that. I've heard of it. I think I know kind of what it is. I just never saw it.
Story-wise, it was kind of reminds me of 2001, but mixed with Event Horizon. Like, it has that cosmic horror aspect really strong. So
I should check that out then, because I do like cosmic horror.
Well, I should warn you that the director was purposely trying to weed out people from the theaters. So it's like a 3-hour movie. Like the first hour and a half is pretty dry and technical and not a whole lot going on. Maybe a double speed movie.
Good to know. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's got to be good, because it's considered a classic. I've definitely heard of it.
It's just watching it is not necessarily a pleasant experience. It's more a movie you remember fondly, and it has ideas that you think about.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, those are the types of movies that I geared towards the cosmic horror and like exploring the unknown. But another one of his good ones is Stalker. I mean, all his movies are good. I guess if I had to recommend two of them, it would be those two. But it's,
Yeah.
I guess there's a video game series based off it. It has, it's kind of surreal, but it's like kind of inspired by Chernobyl. Um, so you have this kind of
Oh.
like X-Files phenomenon going on. It's like you're walking around and you get hit by a pocket of radiation or something.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. What's that video game series called?
Stalker.
Oh, it's the
Same
same
name.
name.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's
I feel like
three of them.
I've seen it, or I've seen videos of it,
It's
maybe.
a shooter. It's kind of like Fallout.
Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think I've seen any of them.
Uh, you've probably never seen much of. Well, I guess you want to get into the number two because it's
Yeah.
Ingmar Bergman. I was thinking
Okay.
the Seventh Seal is probably. Well, I guess it was The Silence is his most famous movie, but I guess looking back later, like The Seventh Seal is. I guess it seems to come up more. It's like The Silence was more
Yeah.
like had a sex scene in the 50s or 60s, and like when no movies ever did that.
Yeah,
And
and the Seventh Seal it's got a a cultural impact. I mean, Bill and Ted did it, so
yeah, I suppose it
that's how
is.
you know something's culturally impactful.
Yeah, I like that XKCD comic with the I guess the Dungeons and Dragons people who wrote the books. Like he died, so he meets death, and he's like, "Oh, so you want to play a game?" He's like, "Oh, Dungeons and Dragons."
I mean, I guess it would delay it because that shit
Yeah,
takes fucking forever most of the time.
you pretty much, yeah, have fun with death for. Kind of
Yeah.
reminds me of Terry Pratchett too, and his death character flying around doing adventures. Oh yeah, you've never seen any of those?
I don't think so.
What you think?
Is is that the comic that? Are you talking about the comic?
I was, but just the specific scene where like death is playing like chess.
Oh yeah,
But yeah,
yeah. I mean, I've
in the
seen the
comic
Seventh
sense.
Seal, so
Oh, oh, okay. It's been
yeah,
a while.
yeah. That's one of the movies that's kind of on my falling asleep rotation. Like, I just find it a pleasant movie to fall asleep to for some reason.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's obviously not an insult to the movie, but you know, just kind of it puts me in a peaceful state of mind. I think it's just the sound and the way it looks and everything.
Yeah, it's been so long since I've seen it that hmm, it's like 'cause I've been busy watching like all his other movies. So,
All right. Did I do my number two? I've only done my number three, right? Yeah. So number two for me is Ridley Scott. Blade Runner, obviously, Alien. So you've got two of my favorite fucking movies of all time. Gladiator, which I think is slightly an overrated movie, but it's still a really good movie. I just think it's slightly overrated. But most of his movies for me are, hits rather than misses. And that's why I figured I'd put him in number 2 and David Fincher in number 3. Because I don't like all of David Fincher's movies, but all of the Ridley Scott movies I've seen, I've really liked. So, The Martian.
I was trying to remember. I thought he did a series on HBO.
I don't know.
It was about the androids in Aliens. Or it had this kind of Adam and Eve twist to it. It's like the kids were being raised by androids or something. It was fun.
Yeah, I think he's done several, or he's at least produced several TV shows, but I'm not as familiar with that as I am with his movies. But and then if we ever get around to top horror movies, I mean, Alien's going to be on there somewhere. So, gotta go with Ridley Scott.
Probably gonna. Sigourney Weaver is one of my favorite actresses.
That's a good choice. That's solid.
I have no idea what the other two.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah, as far as favorite actresses go, I definitely know who my number 1 is because she's pretty much my favorite actor ever, male or female.
Okay.
But we'll wait till we get to that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's who I got for number 2.
All right. On for number 1 or something else?
Drum roll. We need a drum roll.
I could add that.
All right. Who's your number 1?
David Cronenberg. So it's just, and honestly, the movies I like are probably not. It's like my number 1 favorite of his is Scanners. Like I try showing it to people, and it's like they hate it usually, just because they've seen some of his other work, and they're expecting something else.
I don't know. I know David Cronenberg. Videodrome, right? He did Videodrome.
Yes, and The Fly, and The Naked Lunch, and a bunch of others. But yeah,
I feel like
you said with Ridley Scott, it's like I love all his movies. Like even the Spider.
Oh, Crash. That's right. I forgot about that movie. I watched that movie with you.
Yeah, we did. That was a really gay movie.
That is a weird fucking movie.
And it's
A Dangerous Method.
I forget if I read the book or not, because J.G. Ballard is one of my favorite authors.
I've actually seen more of his movies than I thought I had seen. It's just some of the classics everybody thinks of.
Yeah, like
Videodrome,
Dead Zone,
and Scanners. I haven't seen either of those.
like
I know what they are. I just haven't seen them. I have seen The Fly. In fact, I have I'm a big fan of The Fly.
Oh, okay, cool.
I have the whole box set there.
Huh. Okay, well, he only did one of them, I think.
Yeah, I think he just did the one
The
with Jeff
Goldblum.
Goldblum.
Yeah. Honestly, the second one isn't that bad. It's just like The Fly again.
Yeah, it's kind of just
Same
a
movie.
remake.
Yeah.
I had forgotten some of the movies he did do, like History of Violence and Eastern Promises, A Dangerous Method. I forgot those are his.
Oh, have you seen that? I guess Viggo Mortensen. Yeah, they
Yeah.
work. It's like they have a very gay relationship.
He what?
They have a very gay relationship.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Don't know anything about it.
It's like I've seen them in interviews and stuff, and they flirt a lot.
All right. Hey, you gotta have a muse.
Well, I mean, I guess the I guess the whole director actor dynamic is kind of a strange one. And, like, tell me what to do.
Yeah. But they all have. I mean, you've got like Scorsese and DiCaprio, and I was gonna say they all have them, but it's a very common thing.
Yeah.
So
No, Tarantino didn't make the list. Or Scorsese.
no, Tarantino's not making my list. I like Tarantino,
He's a popcorn movie guy.
but sometimes I wish he would just make something normal, quote unquote.
I
Like
mean, well, before
he
we, do
has.
you want to talk about Cronenberg more until we get
Yeah.
too
Sorry, we were
sidetracked?
getting off track.
So what
Do you
was
have
it?
a favorite, like, of his movies?
Scanners.
Scanners, right? You said that.
Yeah, but you haven't
Yeah.
seen it, so
I still haven't seen it. I've seen parts. I've seen like clips
yeah,
that I think everybody's seen. The famous head exploding
yeah. It's like
scene. I've seen that.
Michael Ironside is just perfect. He is,
Yeah,
he's one of
I
my
don't think I've ever seen a Michael Ironside performance I didn't like.
yeah, he's fantastic. Yeah, I think he's my number two in the actors, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
Because I know for Scanners, it's like I think watching the director's commentary or some interviews or something, but Cronenberg like got funding for it before the movie was written, so he was writing it as they were shooting it.
Oh,
So honestly, it's a miracle it makes any sense at all. But
yeah.
I guess
That's flying by the seat of your pants.
I guess going off of one of my friends I watched it with, like he hated it, and he was complaining about the campy acting. But it's like I love that about it because like I guess I should give a synopsis of what the movie's about. It's like there's this drug that makes people telepaths,
Hmm.
so they have psychic powers. Um, so yeah, most of the people who are acting, they're supposed to be misfits and not normal, and it's like that
Right.
fits. Um, but yeah, I totally root for uh, Revik, the Michael Ironside character. He just yeah, it wouldn't be the movie it is
I don't.
without him. It's like I know they
I
made
don't.
a whole bunch of sequels too that aren't very good.
Yeah, I saw on his list. I was looking at it that there's other Scanners movies. I didn't.
There's a whole lot, like maybe 10 of
Yeah,
them, and they're all just, yeah, they get worse and worse.
I don't understand people who complain about camp. Like camp is fun. Like
I
it's a
think it
thing.
was mostly expectations. It was it was right around the time when History of Violence came out, and we like
Oh,
had just
yeah.
seen that, and so I'm like, hey, you got to watch this. This is his best work ever, and it's like going off of that statement and my inability to, maybe preface. It's like
Yeah.
he was expecting History of Violence, and he got the campy B movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see like if you like History of Violence, watch Eastern Promises. That makes sense.
That's a love story, though. Like Eastern Promises is a love story.
It is?
It is.
Where's the love story in Eastern Promises?
Mm, you have to watch for it. It's subtle.
Okay. Is it between him and Naomi Watts? Is that the love story?
No,
Or is it between him and I
him,
forgot that
him
guy's
and the
name.
boss. It's like Vigo and the mafia boss. I think. Spoilers.
Is that the guy that was going to kill the baby?
Uh, maybe. I don't remember those details. I was just watching it again a couple of years ago, and I was like, "Wow, this is gay." Like I totally didn't pick up on that first time I watched it.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to watch it again now. I didn't pick up on very many gay undertones in that one. Or any kind of love story at all, really.
Yeah, it took me by surprise too.
Hmm. Of course, it has been a while since I watched that.
Yeah,
Now, The Fly, that's a love story.
of course. But yeah,
All right.
hmm?
You got anything else about?
Well, I
Uh,
was trying to think of the fly, and I was just like, it's just. I mean, I love it, but
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I guess I love his clinical approach to, like, he just shows, what's there,
Hmm.
and doesn't really have any commentary or judgment about it. Like I appreciate that. But,
Yeah, kind of a matter of fact look at body horror.
yeah. Well, I mean, he said in interviews that it's like for him, it's not horror. It's the opposite. It's like a fetish. It's like
It's
look,
what?
it's a fetish. It's like he's just in love with it. Like just look at what biology can do. It's
Hmm.
crazy. It is. Like I don't like in when I took what is it, microbiology, like just the cellular mechanics, everything that's going on in your body. It's nuts.
It's yeah, it's pretty wild.
But yeah, and then it's like you have something like Dead Ringers. Man, that's such a depressing movie. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't seen
Oh,
that one. There's there's a lot.
It's like
of his that I haven't
Jeremy
seen.
Irons. Yeah, he does a really great performance in that. But it's dark and it's really sad ending.
Hmm.
Um, I guess I should have had a list of all of them. Maybe took notes on different ones, but I, I think I hit all the main points. So what's
Yeah.
yours?
All right. So my number one is one that every time I say that this is my favorite director, I swear everyone wants to either argue with me or they want to roll their eyes.
Okay. I'll get this
But then
very
I'm
close
like,
up.
yeah, but literally every movie he's ever done. Yeah, go ahead, roll your eyes, because it's Steven Spielberg. Yeah. And everybody's like, oh, okay, just be a basic bitch about it. And it's like, all right, I will be a basic bitch, because
I kind of
Steven fucking
figured. I
Spielberg.
was rewatching Back to the Future. I almost threw in the towel on the train one, but then I went and watched it. But yeah, you were right.
Oh, you didn't like the third one? I love that movie.
Um, it took me a minute to get Cowboy. It's like I couldn't
Okay,
watch it all in one go because it's like 5 hours long. Um,
sure.
but yeah, you were right about it being about Trump. It's totally Trump.
Oh, yeah. I forgot we had that cover. Yeah. Yeah, once you see kind of how they dress him in the 80s, yeah.
Well, just the whole Bit Tower too,
Yeah.
and how he's a
Um,
complete asshole to everybody.
yeah. Back to the Future, I think that's Robert Zemeckis, but I think Spielberg was a producer,
Okay,
I think, and maybe Kathleen Kennedy, but I don't remember.
it's like
Um,
honestly, if like other than Schindler's List, like I'm drawing a blank on what else Spielberg has done.
um, well, you've got Indiana Jones.
Huh, okay.
Um, actually, let me pull up his IMDb here. Yeah, you got Indiana Jones, the first three movies. I think he did the other two, but I hate those movies.
I haven't,
Uh,
haven't seen him.
Jurassic Park, Schindler's List, of course, E.T.,
Okay.
Jaws,
Oh, okay. Cool. I
um,
read that book too.
just a shitload of other stuff. I mean, he's done a lot of movies,
Hmm.
and he's, I mean, cultural impact alone, he's like the biggest director of all time.
I guess if you go by summer blockbusters,
Yeah, and I like those kinds of movies. I mean, those are the movies that got me into movies. The first movie I
hmm,
ever saw in a theater was E.T.,
huh,
and I was like 6 months old, so I slept through most of it, and I don't remember it. But, like, Spielberg movies have just been ever present throughout my entire life. And yeah, I mean, I got to go with my foundations here, like the what got me into liking movies in the first place, and it's
pay your
mostly his
respects.
movies. So,
Okay, interesting. Like I don't know. I guess Stephen King got me into books, but
yeah.
it's like he's nowhere near my favorite. Although I do get inspiration from him. I haven't worked on that short story either.
You said you did work on it some more?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't?
Working on other stuff.
Yeah.
But, okay. So
That's,
that's
I guess
valid.
that's all I got. I mean, the thing about Spielberg for me is every time I've always known, like, okay, that's my favorite director. I swear, everybody just expects me to pick something